All right, poison squirrels, let's get into this. So, the internet's most fabulous trap, the lovely Blair White, posted this tweet the other day, and instantly I knew I had to weigh in on it. As a note, this list is not, however, by any means meant as a comprehensive ranking, but rather as a commentary on the particular Brady Bunch list in Blair White's image. Now, there are plenty of SJWs that I consider to be more worthy of a spot on the list than those shown, but again, only covering the one on Blair's tweets. Now, before we go any further, I think this video warrants defining my terms to avoid any confusion with what I mean when I say 2016's most iconic SJW. Well, simply enough, 2016 is of course current year, though not for much longer, I suppose, but that's not really the word in question here, is it? No, the real contention here is going to be over what makes something or someone iconic. Now, there are a few different ways to interpret the word. However, for the purposes of this video, I will be taking the word iconic to mean something or someone that is emblematic of and can be held as the consummate representation of a group or theme and which is widely recognized as such. So, to be the most iconic SJW of 2016, it follows that the individual must not simply be recognizable as an SJW or be a popular SJW, but they must embody the very essence of the SJW mentality. With that said, let's look at the nominees as per Blair White's tweet. Alright, taking the list logically from top to bottom and reading from left to right, the nominees for 2016's most iconic SJWs are number 1, Trigglypuff. Number 2, Dakota Hendricks, aka the Gender Terrorist. Number 3, Milo Stewart. Number 4, Smuglypuff. Number 5, Justin Dennis slash Riley J. Dennis slash Voldemort's carrying device, pick your poison. Number 6, Lindsay from Queer Kid Stuff. Number 7, Phylogeny Noir. I have no idea how she wants that pronounced, and honestly, I don't give a fuck. Number 8, Lacey Green. And number 9, Francesca Ramsey, put at the back of the list because, of course, she is black. No, I'm just kidding. Thank God she'd just make that a Rosa Parks thing for herself. Now, with the list of laughables out of the way, let's get on to the eliminations, shall we? Now, I'd like to run you through a highlight or two from each nominee as we make our way through the list. As I go through the SJW Hall of Infamy here, class of 2016, each member will be eliminated from the running for the coveted title of 2016's most iconic SJW. That means if you see them and they are not the very last one featured, I'm sorry they do not make the top of my list. The list will also be done in reverse ranking order from the least iconic to most iconic, in my opinion. If you disagree with my end choice or any of the stacking along the way, please feel welcome to leave a comment, but please keep in mind that I did define my interpretation of iconic at the start of this video, and try to work through that. If you've got your own reasons, got your own interpretation, throw it in there. Absolutely. Knock yourself out. I will read it. But again, working on a certain interpretation here. Moving forward. So, for the worst of the worst, Trigglypuff. Okay, folks, I know this is going to get some jimmies rustled, but bear with me. Our first elimination from the running is, of course, this lovely flailing individual. Hear me out. What do we really know about good old Triggly except that she got really rowdy at that Milo, Sommers, and Crowder talk, kind of like Crosby, Stills, and Nash, but just better. Yelled, "Get your hate speech off this campus," and flailed her arms about like, oh god, I don't know, it was horrifying. Yes, this made her into a meme. Yes, she had her 15 minutes of fame. Yes, she is disturbingly obese and should probably address her morbidly obese condition. But although she embodies the disruption-oriented, tantrum-throwing tactics of so many SJWs, I don't think we have enough to go on to place her any higher on the list of finalists. Trigglypuff, you've had your moment in the sun, and now it's time to fade back into obscurity. And maybe fade a little on the scales. And here we go now with the second elimination in the contest for most iconic SJW, current year edition, Smuglypuff. Yes, this is the passing of the Puffs. Now, I picked the trollish little Eric Cartman looking thing as a second to last candidate, which I'm sure many of you won't agree with, but I have my reasons. You see, when I think about the most iconic SJW, it takes more than someone who spent a brief stint in the limelight for lying to the cops about a theft and assault, even if the aforementioned crimes were targeted at the ever so lovely gentleman Lauren Southern. No, that wasn't a mistake, and no, I'm not kidding. She's legally, as in displayed on her legal government issue identification card, a man. Hottest dude I ever laid eyes on, but that's a story for another day. No, Smugly Puff, although an easily recognizable face and a wonderful meme, is not what I would consider iconic. Sure, she was protesting against Dr. Jordan Peterson's right to freedom of expression and in favor of Bill C-16, but besides that, what was her message? Again, not much. Smugly Puff, like her Trigley counterpart, simply doesn't carry enough weight, pun somewhat intended, to qualify any higher on the list than number 8. Moving on here, coming in at lucky number 7, we have Philology Noir of Fuck You, Pay Me infamy, as ridiculed by a number of prominent YouTubers such as Blair White and Bearing. As part of one particular video, she dropped this wonderful tidbit on us.
You are not entitled to our time. You are not entitled to our labor. You are not entitled to our kindness. Bitch, you're not even entitled to a sliver of the sidewalk when we're walking outside. You're not entitled to
Oh yeah, she went there. But in all seriousness, her infamy truly spawned from when she made the demand later in the video with a lovely bit of fuck you, pay me, great audio clip that if someone was going to ask her to explain something about racism or white privilege or another topic that she claims to be an expert on, that they should pay her for that time and, oh yeah, pay up. You see, Philology Noir has graduated from the SJW course known as Educate Yourself Shitlord 101 up to Pay Me Bitch 201. She's slowly working her way up, I'm sure, to a major in Getting Paid for Jack Shit with a minor in Oppression Olympics as taught by Professor Anita Sarkeesian. For her commitment to focusing on nothing but race and demanding payment for things she claims to want to educate people on, Philology Noir comes in at number 7 on this list. Now I'm going to skim through this one quickly, what with the visually disturbing subject matter and all, but try to take down the Cole's Notes version of the segment. Are you braced? Are you ready to go? Take a deep breath. It's the gender terrorist. Now, both the gender terrorist and Philology Noir are ridiculous, and Miss Noir's message is more absurd and aggressive. But when you combine the senseless reasoning, non binary trans identities, and the deeply perturbing appearance, the gender terrorist edged out Philology Noir for number 6. You know what? Fuck it. Let's just say that she got passed over for 6th slot because she's black and call it a day. Okay, just so you know, dark humor for those of you concerned that I'm being serious. I hope I don't need to start holding up a sign or something. And on to number 5. We're about halfway through the list, folks. I'll try and make this quicker on the latter half. With the candidate number 5, we get to see what may be the single most disturbing message or set of messages being put forth by any SJW on this list yet. One's aimed at the confusion and corruption of very young children. Lindsay, of the YouTube channel Queer Kid Stuff, focuses on telling children, right down to toddlers, all about how doctors assign genders and how, if you like apples and bananas, you might just be bisexual. And then going on to promote bi and pansexuality as being seemingly better than just being heterosexual. Seriously. As Blair said it, these kids don't need to be learning about this before they can color inside the lines, and kids just need to be kids. Fucking hell. For the ridiculousness of her message, and the way she targets it in a very brainwashy type of way at toddlers and very young children, and with the prediction that she's going to become a much larger issue in current year plus one, Lindsay sits at number 5 on the way to 2016's most iconic SJW. Next up, with highlights like Learn to Law and a spectacular melodramatic meltdown after the election of Donald Trump as the next president of the United States, our 4th place finisher is, yep, you guessed it, Lacey Green. So, what puts Lacey this high on the list? Well, Lacey combines an established image and following with some very typical SJW behaviors, note the meltdowns and ridiculous claims about sexism and such, and then she goes off congratulating her followers for reporting YouTubers who used her image in a video thumbnail where she was the topic. Anyway, she had the hashtag learn to law debacle blow up in her face after she demonstrated a ridiculousness, an absolute oblivion, I don't even know if that's a word, oblivion in regards to fair use and copyright law while going after other YouTubers. Oh yeah, it was good times. Now, Lacey's been a face at the forefront of the SJW push for a couple of years now, but I'll say this, it seems that her SJW star is fading. And by this time next year, I'm doubtful that she'll come anywhere near the top of anyone's SJW icon list. Sorry, Lacey, but if you're seeing this, then I doubt you are. Either way, you're on your way out. And now for the return of the race baiter. Oh yes, oh yes, here we are with the return of the Ramsey. She took a little hiatus from YouTube, but returned with some lovely little tidbits of race baiting garbage. Here's a sample. Brace yourselves. Are cracker, white trash, and redneck racist? How voter ID laws explain structural racism? The problem with white beauty standards. Are the primaries racist? Why the 1% so white? And if you farted every time you were a racist. Yeah, if you couldn't tell already, old Franny is absolutely obsessed with race and seemingly with driving race relations face first into the concrete. I'm really not sure as to which moment of Franny's was the absolute zenith of her SJW dumbfuckery, but I quite enjoyed her attempt at claiming how, without black people, white people just wouldn't be wearing anything other than Crocs and jumpsuits, devoid of winter jackets and smartphones, and listening to Bach. Oh yeah, it was glorious, as was Teal'c's systematic obliteration of each claim made by that video. Again, like with the difference between Philogene Noir and the gender terrorist, I had Lacey and Francesca sitting on par with one another as far as SJW social standing goes, but Franny's just had such absolutely ridiculous messages and aims, and these bumped her up to the bronze medal podium spot. And now, nearly to the end, we come to our silver medal SJW. Without any further ado, I bring you oh yes, Justin or Riley, pick your poison, I really don't care, skyrocketed into SJW prominence after the video set with an impish trans-trender counterpart launched them both into the eyes of the social media masses. Now, I've done a video on Justin's content in the past with more to come in 2017, and I have to say it verges on physically painful to sit through. The logic, non-existent. The reasoning, circular and disturbing. The claims, unfounded and ridiculous. Overall, a laugh riot of epic proportions, but not one for the faint of heart. If you want a better bit of commentary and criticism of Giley? Rustin? Nah, fuck it. But seriously, if you're looking for a better reply to Herm than I could ever put together, you want to watch Jeff and Memory Holiday's stream with Blair White, where they respond to Justin's insanity, as well as to the utterly unhinged spoutings of our number one most iconic SJW of 2016. Yes, it is that time. The most iconic SJW of 2016 is Milo, the original trans-trender Stewart. Congratulations, Milo, on taking home the most prestigious of SJW prizes. But why Milo? Why would I put Milo Stewart at the utter apex of SJW iconality? Not a word I know, don't care. Well, let's look at some pertinent criteria. Social justice, social status, over 1 million views on her top 5 videos, over 18,000 YouTube subscribers, which I understand is not that massive, but it is substantial, and over 2,400 Twitter followers. Again, not insane, but again, not insignificant. Messages, stuff like all white people are racist and all cis people are transphobic. Take that along with all men are sexist, etc., etc., etc. Their effect, countless response videos, popularly accepted origin of the trans trender label in example, not self-identification. Of course, this came from, well, at least it was exposed to me from the holidays and Blair White. But again, it was in reference to the trans trender combination of Milo and Riley slash Justin. And again, looking forward, very likely to continue spewing yet increasingly more ridiculous messages in 2017 as it progresses, and also likely to continue growing as a social media presence. You put all this together, the status, the messages, the effects, and the reactions, and the potential for future insanity, and I dare say that Milo Stewart will go on to be a contender for 2017's most iconic SJW as well, but who knows? It's anyone's game. And with that said, this video draws to a close along with the current year. I would just like to thank everyone who has been so patient with me over these last couple of months. I've had some developments with my academic pursuits, which means I will no longer be as constrained in the second semester time period here in the what will be the winter semester. I will be producing more videos. I will be producing the videos that I have promised you guys for so fucking long and that I have just been so beside myself that I'm not making. They are coming. My follow through on the Riley J. Dennis Everyday Feminism series, which I think is like 10 videos, and that's coming. My finally finishing the regressive handbook from the Democracy Handbook, which was one of my original series attempts, and I really should have finished that, but I got knocked off my stride when someone was supposed to do a guest video, and after that point, I really lost my chugga train of thought, as it were, my momentum. But I've got more coming. I have more coming out in 2017. January will be a big month. There is also, on January 14th, the BSCM Ride for Change Charity Benefit Bike Tour 24-hour game stream fundraiser. I think I put that all together correctly. At this point in the video, I have now gone sans script. But yes, I will be doing another 24-hour live stream. It will take place January 14th. It will begin at 10:30 EST, so Eastern Standard Time. I believe that's Greenwich Mean Time -5, but don't quite quote me on that. Basically, it's the same time frame that you'd see in like Ontario and down a lot of the U.S. Eastern section. That will be fun. There will be giveaways for donors. I will be announcing those officially probably next week, a week prior to the overall stream, but they will be games. I've got a whole list including Broforce and Chivalry and Miscreated and Shell Shock Live and a bunch of other things. It's going to be great. Worms Revolutions to go way back into the nostalgia of early, local multiplayer competitive computer gaming. Not really competitive, but fun. Anyway, I hope that you have enjoyed my most iconic SJWs of 2016. Of course, brought to you by Blair White's tweet. There are honorable mentions. There are feminist notables and SJW actives out there who I think really should have been, or who would have been, higher on my list and not included in that. Personally, when we take a look back at who we had here, in all honesty, I probably would have bumped Phylogeny Noir completely. Absolutely gone. Completely out. And probably bumped Smugly Puff because that was more of a flash in the pan sort of thing, and there wasn't really a whole lot else with that. I had to leave in one of the memes, so Jigglypuff would stay because, oh my god, if that didn't become atomic. But no, I probably would have brought in Black Hitler, okay, Gazi Kodzo. Some of you will know from Uhuru, y'all. And I'd probably have thrown Justin Trudeau in there just because I'm Canadian and I don't really have a choice. I've got to include the PM on that one because holy hell, has he been a laughing stock this year. I voted for the Bastards Party. I really thought there'd be some better trade-offs as per the platform, but I haven't seen them yet, and I'm still waiting. So we'll see how that goes in current year +1. Again, thank you everyone. This video is drawing to 20 minutes. Holy hell. Let's leave it off here. Please join me in the upcoming live stream. I will see you all in current year +1. I'm off to go have a wonderful New Year's bash with a YouTube friend of mine, and hopefully get a video made so that I'll have my first official meetup collab video. Goodbye, everybody, and for Old Lang Syne.